horizontal to the ground without bobbing up and down. When you use the lateral push-step slide to cut a player off, he may spin or cross over and try to beat you the other way. You must change direction with him and move towards a new spot that cuts off his angle of penetration. Now, how do you quickly and efficiently make this difficult change of direction? Pivot on your outside foot and swing step your other leg in the direction of his penetration. A secret to a quick swing step is to throw your elbow in the direction of your swing step. This will ensure that your knee and elbow mirror each other and move simultaneously, making your movement highly efficient. After your swing step, you may have to convert to a sprint for a few steps before you break down to a push-step slide again. And when you do change directions, both the lead hand and the lead foot change as well. To close out means to bridge the gap between you and your opponent in such a way that you both discourage the shot and defend the drive. Now, I admit, at first, this is a difficult feat to correctly perform. You must sprint and hurry to get there, but if you arrive in a sprint, it's easy for the offense to drive by you. If you play it too conservatively to ensure that you stop the drive, he'll simply shoot a wide open shot. There's the dilemma. Now, here's the answer, and it's all in technique. First, sprint until you're within one stride of reaching him. Then, chop your steps in order to bring your body and base under control. While shortening your steps, throw up your lead hand to discourage the shot. But don't raise your torso and lose your stance and balance. Keep your bump down low. You'll have a low center of gravity and be able to change directions in case he drives. When your opponent is going to shoot near the basket, especially a quick shot, your goal should be to make him miss without fouling and to get the rebound, or at least prevent him from an easy putback. The technique to change his shot is easy. Shoot both hands up so your arms are vertical and form a wall. Hopefully you'll hinder his vision or make him shoot a little bit higher than normal. But at the very least, you've shown the officials your hands and that you have a fundamentally sound position and that you're trying not to foul. But that's only half the technique. I've seen players form the wall, make their man shoot short, only to miss the rebound and let the shooter slip by for a putback. That's why I call it the wall and block. You must create the habit of changing the shot and then quickly stepping through into a block out, ready to rebound. What if you've played perfect defense and cut off your opponent's drive, but he doesn't stop? He's determined to drive through you, or maybe he can't stop. Possibly he thinks he can slip by you at the last second, or perhaps he thinks you'll just get out of his way. Regardless of the reason he keeps coming, you have to take the charge if you're going to be a top-notch defender. To take a charge without getting called for a blocking foul, you must be squarely in the path of your opponent. And the key to getting the charge call is for both of your feet to be on the ground before you draw contact. Drawing a charge is tricky because you've got to minimize your chances of getting hurt while maximizing your chances of getting the call. We can address both of these at the same time. As your man starts to barrel into you, have your weight or center of gravity on your heels. Let your torso straighten a bit, but keep your bump out and your knees bent in an athletic position. This will put your head behind the line of your knees, and as we said earlier, this will affect your balance and make it easier to knock you down. Now, there are different ways you can use your hands and arms to protect yourself, but I favor holding one arm up and one arm down. This allows you to protect your groin, midsection, and face all at the same time. Knowing you are protected keeps you from turning your head. Because if you do, your head will turn your torso and the official won't make the call. In fact, he'll change the call to a block on you. If you try to hold your ground when you get hit by a player moving at full speed, you're asking to get hurt. Instead, time his contact with your weight going backwards and get a little air under your feet. Being an inch off the ground helps to absorb the blow. Tuck your chin to your chest to protect the back of your head from hitting the floor. Fall on your bump, slap the floor with your palms, and slide backwards. This helps spread the impact. It also ensures that you don't break your fall with your hands first. If you do this, you could break your wrist. And hey, a little acting goes a long way. Let the air be forced out of you at the point of contact with a loud "Ah!" Your goal on defense should be to dominate or control the offensive player to whatever extent you can. If you can take the ball from your opponent, then do it, and defense is over. But if you're up against a quality opponent whom you can't take the ball from, then just take away his best option. Force him to use his weak hand or force him to a bad area. But what if you can't dictate what you want him to do? Then at least influence him. And if you're up against Jordan and you can't influence him, then at least stay between him and the goal. My point here is control. You must control the offensive player to whatever extent you can. The following 4 chapters are not about how to dominate a player that you're athletically superior to. Rather, we're going to prepare you for defending the best players, taking your defensive game to the next level. Defending the dribbler one-on-one in the open court is the first step to becoming a feared defender. Hey, his team can't score if he can't get the ball past half court. Wouldn't it be nice to have a one-step lead if you were in a foot race? Well, that's what an overplay is. You can overplay the direction your man is heading and get that one-step advantage by pointing to the ball with your lead hand. If the ball handler changes direction, change your lead hand and foot. And since you're pointing at the ball, this will force you to quickly overplay it in the other direction. Don't let your man square himself to the goal. There are too many options, too many fakes available for him. If you allow him to square himself to you, he can explode into a speed dribble and school you. So keep a closer gap and put him into a power dribble stance. He'll be slower and have fewer options to beat you. Angle the dribbler to an out-of-bounds line. Then as he approaches it, speed up to cut off any opportunity for him to slip by. Use the out-of-bounds line as another defender. Think one-man trap. When he picks up the ball, go body to body with him. If possible, straddle his pivot foot and leg and trace the ball with both hands and look for the deflection. Forcing or inviting the dribbler to use his weak hand will cut down on the number of weapons he has to beat you. Do this by placing your body in the path of his dribble and changing your angle to influence him to use his weak hand. Most players are not equally skilled with both hands, even though they should be. Hey, if they have a weak hand, you can bet they don't have better basketballs, better ball handling. Turn him. Make him change hands and directions as many times as possible. This involves overplaying one side, and then when he changes direction, you must swing step, sprint to recover, and then overplay in the other direction, starting the sequence over. 3 good things occur when you turn your man. First, all this excess ball handling will increase his chances of turning over the ball. Second, you'll have extra time to detect his weaknesses and flaws. This will allow you to eventually get a deflection or a steal. And finally, this will decrease his chances of spotting an open teammate and making a successful pass. Be careful about forcing the dribbler in one direction. You don't want to give him too much.